is Mercedes' best-selling SUV globally. In fact, they've sold 13,000 units of it in India alone. And yes, this is the new Mercedes GLC 300 2023 edition. Now I'll let the experts do the talking about how's the drive quality, how's the handling, all of the other car related parameters. So go ahead and check Trakin Auto's video. But in this video, I'm going to tell you why this car costs as much as an apartment in many cities in India. Yes, I'm going to take you through all that's there inside the car. So let's go in. Alright, so now I'm inside the car, which is known as the SUV version of the C-Class, which is why it's called the GLC. Now, the first thing that you see when you enter the car is, of course, that massive 12.3-inch dashboard on the front. And this dashboard is damn cool, right? I mean, you can actually change the themes of all the dials that you see. So you've got like 5 different themes, and you've also got a navigation theme for when you're navigating. It's really, really nicely done. And apart from that, you've got this massive Tesla-style 11.9-inch display on the front. And this display, mind you, is a gorgeous panel. It's crisp, it's bright, it's got all the colors, and the touch response is absolutely fantastic. It works almost like a cell phone. And these displays are powered by Mercedes' latest M-Bux NT G7 technology, which is also in the S-Class, which means that you do get a fingerprint scanner that you can set and even voice activation. And of course, there is the voice commands as well, so you can actually say, "Hey Mercedes," and talk to Mercedes. But the problem is that it's very slow to respond, and I think Siri and Google Assistant are better. Talking about which, you also do get wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. This is something that we've spoken about at length before. And apart from that, you do also get 4 USB Type-C port, 2 on the front, 2 on the rear, and a wireless charging pad as well. Standard on most Mercedes cars, that's something that you will never miss. Now, that new M-Bux technology also enables something which basically is such a lifesaver, especially if there's a Mercedes car in front of you. Primarily because if there is a Mercedes car in front of you, it is connected via the cloud, Mercedes' very own cloud system, and your car is also connected at the same time. So if another Mercedes car in front of you detects a pothole or an accident, it actually sends you a notification on your car itself so you can avoid it. So when we were driving, we were alerted about a school that was there on a right turn, and that helped us slow down because obviously kids will be crossing at any given point of time. Now, you know what? If you want, you can also play games on this system, but I would advise against it. There is Sudoku pre-installed on the M-Bux system itself, but then of course you also get games on Android Auto. If you are really bored of driving, you can stop on the side and play games if you want. Now, one of the new additions on the Mercedes maps that you get with the system is the fact that you actually get a 3D outlay of your environment when you're driving around. Honestly though, it's not very nicely done because I couldn't really see too many 3D renders done properly, so it wasn't really helpful. So, I mean, I don't know how the implementation goes. Maybe it's better in other areas, but it's still not been implemented well in Humpy for sure. Or maybe there are certain locations that have been mapped out in 3D. So yeah, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. Now, the tech of the car itself is also very important, right? Now, this is an SUV, so you've got off-roading capabilities. So there are specific off-roading, specific driving, assistance features that you get with the car itself. Now, hill assist is a common feature. There is also something called a downhill ride speed regulation. So if you're actually going downhill, then it will regulate the speed to ensure that you do not sort of lose control of the car, which is actually very useful. We tried it out and it does work very, very well. Now, of course, you also do get ADAS with this car, which is expected on a car that costs this much. Now, with that, you do get lane assist, you get blind spot assist, you also get parking assist, which is very useful for somebody like me. I've been driving a car for the past 1.5 years. I do drive an automatic, which is the i20. So for me, it becomes much easier to actually drive something as expensive as a Mercedes because it's really helpful. Talking about making driving easier, you do also get multiple camera systems. I think there are 4, but the most important one is the 360-degree camera on the front. Now, that 360-degree camera has something called a transparent bonnet feature. And that's very useful considering the fact that if you are actually taking this off-roading in a region like say Leh and Ladakh, and if you've sort of gone into a very rough terrain, then you can actually use that 360-degree camera, which creates a live feed and then sort of gives you a delayed sort of feedback of that camera feed on your display itself, so you can see if anything has scraped underneath or not. So it's very useful to see, and apart from that, you can also see if there is anything that you need to be careful of when you're driving. Now, like I mentioned, I'm not going to be talking about the drive quality of the car itself, but I can talk about how the seat feels. It's very comfortable, and of course you've got memory functions for the seat as well. You can lock in 3 different seat settings, and mine is set on 1, so the moment Ajit got out of the car and he gave it to me, he switched to 1, and I'm taller, so it moves around accordingly. It's very well done. I missed the most important thing about the tech aspect of this car, and that is the Mercedes Me Connect app. Now, the Mercedes Me Connect app over here is pretty basic. You get your options to see the range that is available. You can of course remote lock and unlock your car as well, and apart from that, you can also open the sunroof from the app itself, which is a panoramic sunroof, by the way, and you can also open your windows, which was very funny for me. Who would want to do that? Now, talking about which, the way you open this sunroof is by actually sliding. There's a capacitive sort of slide mechanism, which I found really cool, honestly. And you've got a similar capacitive touch sort of setting on the steering wheel as well, which is pretty cool. Now, coming to the part that you guys trust me the most for, and that is the audio performance. Now, this car has 15 speakers inside. Of course, I've sat inside a Mercedes S-Class, which has more than that, which is at least 30 if I'm not mistaken, or more than that. And this is a Burmester speaker system. You can customize the sound so beautifully. You want more bass, you want more vocals, you want more intensity, you want more surround. You can do everything. It is superbly well tuned. Now, you do get individual climate zones for the left and the right. So if you have the passenger can also adjust the AC accordingly. Talking about the AC, the turbine AC vents are damn cool looking. I really like this vintage system, but this has been there on many Mercedes cars, including the C-Class and the S-Class. Now, one of the things that I was slightly disappointed by was the fact that you actually do not get one of those sensors to open up the boot directly. The boot has a lot of space, by the way. It has about 620 liters of space. That's a lot of space. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a nice addition to have. You can actually increase the boot space even further by sort of pushing down this rear seats, which is also very easy to do. It's just a press of a button. Now, this is why you pay for a Mercedes GLC. The luxury, the tech, the finesse in the tech. The way the car drives, of course, is, for me, secondary. I purchased my Hyundai i20 also for that specific reason, because, the tech inside for that class of car is fantastic, but Mercedes just takes it to the next level. Now, there is something that I do want to talk about, and I want to understand what you guys think about so much tech inside cars, because the moment I speak to car purists, they don't really like it that much, and I understand that, because your attention should be on the road and not on all the tech, and also, not everybody ends up using all the features as well, right? What do you guys think? It'll be fun to know your opinion as well. Let me know in the comment section below. And what do you guys think of the new Mercedes GLC? Do you guys like it? Not like it? Also, do you like this kind of content that we put out? I genuinely enjoy doing it because it helps us look at tech not just beyond the perspective of phones, but how it is integrated within the cars that we are driving every day. Alright, so that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and support our work. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.